Hi, I'm Ken Murphy, Program Manager for ArtsNL, and this is a walkthrough of the online ArtsSmarts application. Once you've registered in the ArtsNL online system, you'll be brought to your portal, your grantee portal page, and this is what that looks like. You have got 4 areas: funding opportunities, which lists the ArtsSmarts program, which is the only program schools can apply for. My applications, so any applications you have in draft or completed form will be listed here. Requires attention would be if you owe a final report or a grant acceptance contract on a project, it will be listed here. And the nomination support is only to do with the Arts Awards nomination process, so we won't be talking about that today. For the ArtsSmarts application, just click Apply Now, and you'll be brought to this page, which lists 6 different tabs that must be completed as part of the application form. Now, these generally follow the format of the original application form that you would all be used to if you've completed it before. The first tab is really just information on you and your school. The email here must be the principal of the school or an administration person, because obviously the administration must be aware of any projects that are going out from the school. And so they must be the primary contact for your application. So that's all correct. The first thing we have to do then for an application is to click Save Draft, as it's telling us to do. That opens up a brand new application for me, and you can see that information that was already there is still there. If you want to look at your application as you're going through, you can click on Application Summary, and it'll tell you what you've already completed. And if you're unsure about program guidelines, you can click here anytime in the application process, and it'll bring you to the program guidelines. So, the details of your organization, your school, are already here. So let's move on to the overall project information. Now, it may be useful to do, as I have done here, and just do an overall project information page for yourself, just so you have it. And I've printed this and I have it in front of me. So basically, everything here can be typed in, except perhaps the brief project description. So we'll minimize that and get back to the page here. So first of all, arts discipline, it's always going to say arts and education, and that's for ArtsNL's purposes. That's where these ArtsSmarts projects happen for our purposes. But when you get into the specific projects here, you'll be able to say whether your project is theater or visual arts or music, etc. So the overall project title, I do have that. It's called Crafting Our History. And the project start date, I know this project is going to start on October 1st, 2018. And the project end date is going to be February 28th, and to correct that, 2019. And that's correct. I know this project is going to have 98 students in total and 4 teachers. And I'm going to have 2 specific projects, so I've already calculated that before I've submitted this part of the application. The grade levels are grade 4 and 5. And the artists, so it'll ask you to list your artists. So I have my list here, click plus. My first artist is Helen Howard. These are imaginary artists, not real people. And my second artist is James Wright. Now save and close, and those will always be there. Now my project description is pretty long, so if I go back to my page here, I'll be able to copy and paste that right into the application, save that draft, and there's that tab done. Now let's look at our specific projects. When we go in here, it's going to ask us for projects. So first we click on projects, and now I'll list my 2 specific projects that I have. Now my first project is my grade 4 project, and that's called The Patterns in Inuit Stories. And my second project, my grade 5 project, is called Felting Our history. So it's good to have these project titles. You need to have these project titles really up front. So you can type them in here. Now, save again and close. Save draft. Anytime you enter any new information, please click Save Draft. And now you see that these two projects are here and the names. So now I can get into these projects specifically. So if I click on Project Details, it brings me to a new set of tabs. So this is just for my grade 4 project only. And so if you're the teacher doing this, you could have your grade 4 teacher do this themselves. So the first thing it's going to ask for is the teachers. And the teachers in this one are John Smith and June Jones. Save and close. Save draft. Make sure they're there. The grades, this is going to be a grade 4 project. And I know I have 46 students in grade 4. And the subjects that are going to be covered, I'm actually going to go into my grade 4 sample project. And I have a listing here of the areas that are going to be covered. And I can copy and paste those right in there. The art discipline is going to be visual art. And the name of the artist is Helen Howard. Phone number. We'll do a made-up one. And the artist email is going to be we just type it in, a pretend one. Now we need to include the artist's resume, and this must be included with all ArtsSmarts applications. So we're going to click to download that, and please note all resumes must be in PDF format. So we'll hit Browse. And I have that stored here. So here's my artist resume. I select it, click Open, and that's going to upload that really quickly for me. So now I have my artist resume. So I can close that, and you'll see it's included now in the application form. So I'm going to save that draft. And that's the project information done. The project details. Now this is the area that corresponds to what used to be pages 2 and 3, your detailed specific project information. So for this one, I have completed it, and I recommend this in a Word document or another document you can copy and paste text from. So I've done basically what's required. I've done my headings here for what's required. If you use the old application form to do this, it will work fine. Same headings and same information required. So I can simply copy and paste each item into the online application form. So now it's the project art activity. Copy. Paste. Project benefits. I'm sorry. Should be curriculum connections next. I did the same thing I did last time. What I'll do is I'll paste those in here. And then I'll go up and put that where it's supposed to be. Next is the project benefits. Community connections. assessment. And monitoring. Now, I will say we give you lots of room in all these to put in information, but they're way longer than they need to be, and it's certainly not required to have 1,000 words in each of these items. Most of them can be done, as you can see, in about 200 words, 200 to 300 words at most. You know, it's really not, you don't have to, just because we allow you 1,000 words, please don't give us 1,000 words. Now, again, that's complete, so we'll save that draft. And we can see that that's all been populated. Now, we'll go to the specific project budget. And you'll click the budget form. And the first thing that's here is kilometers, you'll notice at the top. And if you do have kilometers in your application at all, and you'll see here in my grade 4 project, I actually do have some kilometers, 924, for my artist traveling to come to my school. So I'll want to list that first. So I'll go back in here, projects, 924, save. So that'll start populating that. And now I know my artist hours are, I believe, 10 hours in class, 2 hours for planning and debriefing meetings, and 10 hours for technical work. Now, please note that the artist rate, it have increased for ArtsSmarts. It's now $76 per hour in class and for meetings, and $68 for technical hours. This is because of the new government legislation that requires us to pay artists at national rates. So those are the national CARFAC rates, which is what we're using. So those will automatically, as you can see, automatically calculate for you. And save. Okay. And now the next thing I want is information on my materials. So I have those here. I can copy. So it saved it for me. It's right there. I can paste those in here. Remind myself of what my total was, $1,000. Oh, I forgot to save. $1,000. Save. Now note that I have numbers in that in this section, but they won't add into this one. You will have to add them independently and submit them here, but it does allow you to list the materials that you will be using in your project. And you can see here that the mileage already came in for the artist mileage. So that was very simple. You didn't have to calculate anything. It just happened itself, and we maintain those rates ourselves. So there's my project total. I will save and close. So that's the budget. The section here on teacher professional development actually won't be included in the future application, so you won't need to be aware of that. I'll save the draft. And that's completed. And now I can actually submit just this specific project for the grade 4 project. And hopefully I'll get no red flags. And I didn't, which is great. If I needed to include information that I didn't have included, a red flag will appear. And I will note up here that the file number is listed here at the top of the page. So that is the actual file number that you've been assigned by the system. So if you want to note that yourself, that's what it is, to refer to your project. So now I need to put in my second specific project. So I'll just click specific projects again, and I see I've got that one on. So now I'll go to project details for Felting Our History, my grade 5 project. So it's Felting Our History. The teachers, I'll put them in again. So this time I have John Jones and June Smith. Save, close, grades. This is going to be grade 5, number of students, I know I have 52 students in grade 5. And this area's explored. Well, I've got my grade 5 project on here, so I can just copy and paste that. The arts discipline, this is again visual arts, felting. And the name of my artist is James Wright. Phone number. And their email. Type that in again. It's going to ask me for an artist resume. Again, it has to be a PDF. I can browse. There's my artist resume. Click open. It will upload it to the system. And there it is. Close that. And you'll see it here right on the system. So I'll save that draft. Now I'll move into project details. And again, we're back to our copy and paste for our grade 5 project. So there's our exploration area. Detailed description of the project. Specific curriculum outcomes. Benefits. Put that in the wrong place. This is going to be community outreach. Assessment. Try to get it in the right place. And monitoring. Now, as long as you have something populated in here, the system will accept it. So if you do make a mistake and you need to go back, there is an opportunity to fix things later. And you can certainly read things through before you submit the final version. So we'll save draft to that. So if you do like I did and put something in the wrong place, we can fix that. It can be fixed. Or if it worst comes to worst, you can certainly contact me and I'll be able to go in and change something on your application form if absolutely necessary. Now let's look at our budget. Our project budget. So I don't have any kilometers this time, so I don't really need that. Let's look at, sorry, open that again. We have 10 hours. Let me save that for now. Double check here. Yep, 10 hours, 10, 2, and 2 for this one. 10, 2, 2. I'll save that again. Anytime you add anything, make sure to save. Now I want to put in my materials list, which I have completed here. Very short list. Didn't copy. There we go. Copy. and paste. And our total, we'll save that. We know our total for materials is $408. And again, we have to type in that total. It won't total from material over here. Save as always. Make sure we save. And there is our total for this project. Save it again. Close. Save draft. Make sure that's all there. Always click Save Draft before submitting it. Now I'm going to submit it. And luckily, everything was completed. Now that I've done those, I look at my overall budget. And when I open up that, well, everything I've submitted in the two other budgets is now included in this one. So the total is 445449. If I come down here, it's going to ask me total budget expenses listed above. You will actually have to list it in there. So it's 445449. You will have to put in a decimal as well. And then we'll save that. Now, if you have other sources of funding, for example, from your school or any other source of funding, you can list that in this list here, and this is the area we'd list any details on that. But the school isn't required to list any of that right now because this project is less than $7,000, so it can be completely funded by ArtsSmarts. So there's the request there. So we save that and close. Now, support materials. I rarely get support materials for ArtsSmarts applications, but you do have the option. One thing, video links are here. So if you have an online video link, you can copy and paste that in here, and assessors will be able to link to that online. Images, sometimes people have images from projects that they've done in the past, or this particular project done with a different class that they want to include. You can include some images as well. I'm going to download an image just to show you how easy that is. So this is the types. It must be a JPEG, TIFF, PDF, or JPEG. So I click Browse. I'm going to bring my Shakespeare picture into this one. Click Open again, just like I did with the resume. It shows here. I close that. And there is my project. There is my picture that I wanted to have included here. You'll have to do that for each picture. So if you have 20, you'll need to do it each time for each one. There. So that's support material. Now we move to the final tab, which is the declaration. And this is, again, the principal is confirming that the information is incorrect and that if you owe any final reports, you'll submit those. So they check there to confirm that they understand this information. Click Save Draft. Now, if you want to at this point, you can click Application Summary. Click Open. And it will open up the application for you, and you can see all the information is in here. So the projects are there, overall budget, support material, and the declaration. It's all in there. And the information on the specific projects will also be included in the final version. So we can close that. Save draft. And now we can submit. And hopefully, oh, we got a red date. Project start date must be before the project end date. Okay, so let's go back. It didn't click to 2019. You see, you found that on me. You always have to click the date and the day in the calendars to make sure that they're there. So we'll save that draft. And now let's try to submit. It's been submitted successfully. So you will get an email notifying you that your application has been received practically immediately after it has been submitted. So that information, so you'll know right away that the application is in. If you have any questions on this, please do feel free to contact me. That's Ken Murphy, kmurphy@nlac.ca. Thanks.